Poor man! It was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes, and now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. See, now the author came to know why the master was wearing the special dress and why the village people were sitting at the back of the bench. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. That means why the village people were gathering there, they wanted to thank the master for his noble service of 40 years in the same school, as well as they wanted to show their respect for the country, because tomorrow onwards the country also not theirs. The German already captured, no? So they felt bad and they wanted to thank the master as well as the country. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake. See, that time while he was thinking these and all, the master called his name, and he had to recite the participles, that is the rules of the participles. He wanted to say the rules louder and clear and without a mistake, but I got mixed up on the first words and stood there holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. He wanted to say loudly, but he didn't know anything. That's why he stuck in the beginning itself and he couldn't able to do anything. He was holding on to his desk and his heart was beating fastly and he couldn't able to dare the master. I heard young Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel bad enough. See, now the master didn't scold him. Instead of that, see how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, Bah, I have plenty of time, I shall learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. That's a great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. See, that means every day while we are starting to read, if you are getting bored or if you are having any problem in reading or if you have any interest in some other, we are telling regularly, that is we also, normal people also telling, I can read this also tomorrow. Like that we are postponing everything, no? So all are postponing. Even the little Franz also postponed everything to read tomorrow. I'll learn it tomorrow, like that. But see, what is our condition? Today is the last day. Even I'll say also this is the last day. If you want to learn or read tomorrow means also it's not possible. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it? You pretend to be Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language. But you are not the worst, poor little Franz. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. That means maybe the other people also can ask you. That means you are telling that you are a Frenchman, but whether you can know to read or write your own language properly, like that, because we didn't read properly. It's okay. It's not much worse, like that master was telling. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They preferred to put you to work on a farm or at the mills so as to have a little more money. That means the parents could also think like that. See, if you didn't learn today means you can read tomorrow, otherwise you can work in a farm, like that. They didn't give much preference to read. That is also maybe one reason. And I have been to blame also. See, I too may be a reason. I means here M. Hamel denoting himself. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? That means I too sent you for watering my flowers, and then whenever I have the wish of fishing, I declare the school as holiday. Like that, if I didn't do this and all, you could also learn much better. Like that, he was blaming himself. Then from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it, because when a people are enslaved, as long as they could fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. That means now the master was explaining about the importance of the language, French language. He was telling that it was the most beautiful language in the world and the clearest language, of course the most logical language, and we must God means we must practice our language among ourselves at least. We should not forget the language. If suppose we are now enslaved, no, so if suppose we were put in jail, means we can use this language as a key to share our opinion among ourselves, like that. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood this. See, while the master was taking the previous classes, that boy little Franz thought that this was too tough like that, but at present he thought it was easy. I can understand clearly like he felt. All he said seemed too easy, so easy. That means the lesson was so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully, and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. See, he thought the students also didn't listen the class properly, as well as he thought maybe with this much patience the teacher also didn't explain like that. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away, and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. The master thought that whatever he knew, he wanted to give all the details or all the matters to his students. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day, M. Hamel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand, France, Alsace, France, Alsace. The next they were practicing the handwriting. He wrote France, Alsace, like that. It was looked like little flags were floating everywhere in the classroom, hung from the rod at the top of our desks. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. See, the whole class was so silent, all are listening quietly. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. Whatever the master was teaching, they were following that. That is, the handwriting means they were practicing the handwriting. If he was taking class, means they were taking notes. Like once some bits flew in, but nobody paid attention to them, not even the littlest ones, who worked right on tracing their fish hooks as if it was French too. See, that means they were not deviated, they were concentrating properly in whatever they are doing. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons. See, these are his imagination, the students' imagination. When the pigeons are making noise, he thought that the pigeons also make them sing in German. They are also changing the language. Is it so? Like that he was thinking. Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then to another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little cool room. That means whenever the little Franz looked up and he observed the master, he was sitting so quietly. That means there is no motion, there is no movement from him. He was sitting quietly and he was gazing. Gazing means daring something. Okay, first he dared one thing, means slowly to the another and to the another and to the another, like he was observing the whole classroom. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him, just like that. See, he thought, see, the classroom was as it is, the garden also as it is. For the past 40 years it was like the same. Only the desks and bench had been worn smooth. That means by the regular use of desks and bench, they were worn up. Okay. The walnut trees in the garden were taller. The trees grew taller, and the hopvine that he had planted himself twined about the windows of the roof. That means, of course, the plants were grown up. How it must have been broken his heart to leave it all, poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. That means the school was as it was like the same normal, but the person, one who was going to move from the place, he was like heartbroken. See, he was observing each and every place quietly, and he was thinking something in mind, and his sister was packing everything because the next day they have to move the place. But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had the lesson in history, and then the babies chanted their ba, bee, bee, boo, boo, like that. Down there at the back of the room, old Hase had put on his spectacles and holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. That means, see, the old Hase, that great person also, spelling the letters, trying to spell the letters like babies. Okay, even the babies also there, all the whole village, like at most the whole village people were sitting there. But the reaction of the people were, see, they were now only beginning to read, like. You could see that he too was crying, his voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. How well I remember it, that the last lesson. See, the same, that boy, not the boy, that man, he too was crying because the next day onwards he had no freedom to read the language, no. So, we were laughing as well as we were crying the same day. That means they were enjoying the last lesson and they were crying for the last lesson because the next day they won't be get the new choice. All at once the church clock struck 12. The time was 12. Then the Angelus means it's like a holy prayer. So you were given clearly what's the meaning of the Angelus at the back in glossary. A Roman Catholic devotion commemorating the incarnation of Jesus, including the Hail Mary, said at morning, noon and sunset. That means you can remember that it's like a prayer, like a Hail Mary. We are telling regularly, no? It's like Hail Mary, which was telling in the morning, noon and sunset. It was a holy prayer. At the same moment, the trumpets of the Prussians returning from drill sounded under our windows. That means in the beginning of the lesson we saw that the Prussians were drilling at the back of the sawmills. At this time, they were returning from the drill. Young Hamel stood up very pale in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. Okay, that means pale means without strength. If any person were there means we are telling no, he was looking or he is looking so pale, like he was so dull. Okay, my friends, said he. I. But something choked him. He could not go on. That means he tried to say something but he couldn't. Okay. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could, Vive la France. He turned at the blackboard and he was so weak, no, he couldn't have the strength to write. That means not physically, mentally he was so weak. Okay, he was heartbroken already. So he collected all his strength and he wrote Vive la France. Vive la France means you were given the meaning long live France. Okay, he wrote that. Then he stood and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word he made a gesture to us with his hands. School is dismissed, you may go. That means he didn't open his mouth, he didn't say anything. By his gesture, gesture means movement. Okay, he showed that school was dismissed, you may go, like that. Okay, see, with this we are ending this lesson. Now see the author introduction. See, the author was Alphonse Daudet. His period was 1840 to 1897. He was a French novelist and short story writer. The last lesson is set in the days of the Franco-Prussian War. Already I said, see, this lesson denotes the period of Franco-Prussian War. So the period was 1870 to 1871, in which France was defeated by Prussia led by Bismarck. Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland and the parts of Austria. In the story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Prussian hands. Thank you.